G'day, my name is Jenny and I'm an Aussie mum of 16 children. Now, money's tight at the moment, isn't it, for most folks? So today we're going to be cooking and we're going to be making 5 cheap and tasty family meals made with sausages. Now, all of these meals are budget friendly, and after each recipe I'll put the costing up so that you will know what it costs per serve to get this meal on the table and served to your family. Now, you could use any sausages that you like, thin ones, thick ones, and you can use beef, chicken or pork sausages in any of these recipes. All these meals are easy to prepare, so why not get the kids involved? The kids in the kitchen will be learning great skills. They will love being in the kitchen with mum or dad and making a meal that you can sit down and enjoy together. Now, each of these meals are great to serve straight to the table, or you can bag them, freeze them, and reheat them at a later time. You know those times in the afternoon where life is really chaotic and you just want to get the meal on the table so that the family can sit and eat and get happy again? Well, this is the way to do it. Spend a little bit of time pre-cooking and freezing these meals. Then on those afternoons you can just pull them out of the freezer, put them in a pan, heat them up and serve them straight away. And it's so quick to do that. Like within 15-20 minutes you can have dinner on the table. Now, I have mentioned before that there's absolutely nothing wrong with buying convenience products whilst making these recipes. Now, if you like to make everything from scratch, that's fantastic. Go into your kitchen and just create an amazing meal for your family. But if you don't have the time for that, it's okay to buy a packet mix or a jar of sauce or a recipe base to use. If that saves you a bit of time and money, then by all means do that. I like to use a balance of both myself. So sometimes I do cook everything from scratch, and sometimes I'll just use a simple recipe base, pop that with the meat and veg, and I've got instant dinner on the table. Now, all the quantities that I am cooking up for our size family will probably be too much for you, but you can adjust any ingredient in these recipes. Now, some of these ingredients for me, they change from time to time, and I'm not so much a measured out ingredient type of person. I like to just kind of throw it all in, and when it tastes right, it tastes right, and that's the recipe for today. So don't get too hung up on how many grams of this and how many cups of that. Just put a few things in and then have a little taste and see what you need to add. You'll soon learn what your family likes to have, whether they like it spicier or sweeter, and then you can just add in the extra ingredients. But you can just play around with a little bit. You can always add extra veggies in. Again, whatever you have in your fridge and whatever you like. But whilst you're cutting down a recipe to suit your family size, also consider that you can save a lot of money by batch cooking, which means make a bigger amount of that meal, have one at the dinner table that night and freeze the other meal. And again, that's when you will have a pre-cooked freezer meal ready for when you need it, when you least have the time to be standing in the kitchen cooking. Now, don't forget to label those freezer bags and put a date on them if they're going to be in there for a little while. And hey, let's get cooking. We're going to make some sausage hot pot. Now, first of all, take your thin beef sausages, put them in a pan and add some water. Now, once they're cooked and they're all nice and brown and crispy, you can remove them from the pan and let them cool down. Now, you're going to need some oil, some honey, some minced garlic, salt and pepper, and some tinned tomatoes. You'll also need some beef stock, brown sugar, some onions, some green beans, and some carrots. I saved some money by buying the Odd Bunch, which are different shapes and sizes of carrots for a cheaper price. Now peel and cut up the carrots. Don't forget to use the peel for either making stock or soup. Cut the carrots up into small pieces. And dice the onions too. Now let's make the sauce. I used a little bit of the tinned tomatoes, poured in some oil. I used minced garlic, but you could use fresh garlic if you like. I gave a good sprinkle of salt and pepper, and a generous drizzle of honey. 1 dessert spoon of brown sugar and some of the beef stock. Now I mixed it all together, and this is where you get to do the taste test. So you can decide whether you need more sugar in it or more stock or more garlic, whatever your family likes. Now I took the cool sausages and I cut them down into small pieces. I put them back into the pan . I added some more water. I put the carrots in there and the frozen green beans. And then the tinned tomatoes. Give it a good stir through and then add your sauce. And oh my, I forgot to add the onions. So you can put the onions in now. I would normally add them when I'm putting the carrot and the beans in there. Doesn't that look delicious? Now when the mixture has all cooled down, you can put it into the Ziploc bags. Now make sure you label the bags before you start filling them. These are all the ingredients that I used. And the cost per single serve is only $1.68. Now you can take those bagged meals and pop them into your freezer, and they will be ready for when you're super busy and need dinner on the table. Next we're going to be making some curried sausages. So I took some thick beef sausages, put them in the pan again with a little bit of water and cooked them through. Then I removed them and let them cool. Once they were cooled down, I cut them into pieces. Then I took my carrots, peeled them and cut them into small pieces. I put them into some water in the pan to start cooking them through. Then I diced up an onion, and I put them in the pan too. Now I'm going to use a recipe base. This is one of my favourites. But if you want to make your own sauce, that's really easy to do as well. You can just use some curry powder, some tomato sauce, some flour, some cream, and you can add in any other seasonings that you like. Now return the sausages to the pan. Use whatever sauce you like, whether that's a pre-bought one or one you've made yourself. Add in some extra curry paste, really yummy, and some cream. Now make sure you label the bags. If they're going to be in the freezer for a fair while, make sure you put a date on them as well. Here's all the ingredients that I used. And the cost per single serve, $1.96. Then I put all the bags in the freezer, ready to cook up for my family. Next, we're going to make some gravy sausages. So I diced up an onion nice and finely, and I cooked up some thin beef sausages. Cook them all together. Then I got some shortcut bacon. Now this is bacon that has all the rind and the fat taken off it. And I just diced that up, put it into the pan with the onion, cooked it through. I took the cooled sausages, cut them into small pieces. Then I made some gravy. So I'm just using regular gravy powder, adding some garlic powder, and cooking it. While that's cooking, I wrote on the bags so they were ready. And then I poured it in over the onion, the bacon, and the sausages. Here's all the ingredients that I used. And the cost per single serve, $1.89. Now that it's all bagged up, into the freezer it goes. Now next on the list is deviled sausages. So I put some water in the pan and I cooked up 2 packs of thick breakfast sausages. Now a breakfast sausage is a pork sausage. And because they're a little bit thicker, make sure that you have cooked them thoroughly through. Now you're going to need some minced garlic, some oil, some tomato sauce, some barbecue sauce, some tinned tomatoes, an onion, and some brown sugar. You will also need some green apples. Now to make the sauce, put some barbecue sauce and tomato sauce in a bowl. Some minced garlic, again you can use fresh garlic if you prefer. Add in some oil, some sugar, some malt vinegar, and then stir it all together. Again, this is where you get to taste test and see if it's what you like. Now very thinly slice some onions. Cut the sausages into pieces. Put it all back into the pan and wait for the onion to cook down. Now take your green apples, peel them and core them. And then thinly slice the apples. Add in a can of tinned tomatoes, and depending on how much you are serving, you can add an extra can. Add in your sauce. And add in the apple. Now if you're serving it straight away, add the apple in. It will be nice and crunchy throughout the meal. If you're going to freeze it, it's up to you whether you want to add the apple in. It will go softer when it's been frozen. Or if you like the crunch of the apple, wait and serve that as you're reheating it. Now fill up the bags with the meals. Now you can make large bags, a family-sized meal to go into the freezer, or you can make small single size. Here's all the ingredients I used. And the cost per single serve, $2.22. Now for our 5th cheap and tasty meal, let's make a sausage spaghetti bake. Let's get the thin beef sausages into the pan with some water, cook them through, pull them out and let them cool. A boiling pot of water and some spaghetti on cooking, and then we'll prep the veggies. So let's get the zucchinis chopped up into smaller pieces. Do the same with the mushrooms. Now you're going to need some stock and some oil, some tomato sauce, some minced garlic, and mix it all together. Drain your cooked spaghetti And make sure you have all of those cherry tomatoes chopped in half. Take the cool sausages and slice them long ways. Now take a baking dish and add your cooked spaghetti, making sure you add a little bit of the stock so that the spaghetti doesn't dry out. Then you can add the long pieces of sausage and the cherry tomatoes. Then sprinkle over the blanched zucchini and the mushrooms and pour the sauce over the top. Take a tub of ricotta cheese and you can just dollop it over the top of the meal. Place the dish in the oven and wait for it to heat through. And then it's ready to serve. So you might want to cut the spaghetti as you're trying to serve it, and then put it on the plate for the family. Here's all the ingredients that I used, and the cost per single serve was $2.38. Now they were really easy recipes, so I want to know whether you try them out with your family and whether the kids like them. So make sure you leave me a comment. We will have more videos coming like this, so make sure you subscribe and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. God bless.